We are here with the IAFC Benjamin Franklin Valor Award recipients, and we're going to speak with them about what happened and what valor means to them. So, first, I would love for you to walk us through the events and what happened that day.
So we were on Medic One. It was during my FTO shift, where Kyle was FTOing me that day, and we got a call that was a vehicle into a building, which doesn't come across every day. So sounded interesting. So we, got there as quick as we could. We were first on scene. We pulled up to the front of the building. Didn't see anything initially right away, kind of some people running around, some cops. So we went to the back where all the action was happening, and you could hear a gas leak, and it was pretty loud. You could tell it was a very large line that was hit. And then you saw a car in the second floor of a building, and trying to just piece that together, because we've had accidents at this scene before where cars just kind of go over the edge, but nothing to this magnitude. So kind of took me kind of a shock, and then just trying to realize what was going on, what actually occurred there, and to realize that that car had come through the air quite a ways and struck the third floor of the building and was resting in the second floor. Right away trying to figure out if we even had any viable patients in there. So right away we understood that our apparatus was in the wrong place. It was actually on the front of the building, where this accident was actually on the back side of the building. So trying to decipher what was actually happening in the moment, and getting resources to the proper location was my main concern. And then my teammates, my crew members here, basically did everything else. Kyle was able to call the hospital, let them know what we had going on. We had multiple patients, and then he actually went and grabbed the medic unit on the front side of the building, was able to relocate it to where we were. And Morgan, firefighter Helton, she actually, with aid from a law enforcement officer, was able to get the viable patient out of the back seat of the vehicle and pull her to safety while the gas leak was uncontrolled at that time.
So it sounds like not only did you have a remarkable accident where a car is into a building and it's on the second story, as you just described, hit the third story, you also have a gas leak to contend with, and it's a different setup than you originally thought. So Kyle, what was going through your mind when you got there that day? Because your training prepares you for things like this, but maybe not specifically something like this exactly.
Right, and just what you said, I mean, we've heard of vehicles and buildings before where it's more of at a lower rate of speed to where they, may have slowed down and kind of went into the building. So when you first hear that, you're not really sure what to expect, but obviously once we parked and ran around to the side and saw that the vehicle was actually through the building, then from that point you realize how serious of a situation this is, and start to just act accordingly.
So when you're assessing what you were seeing that day, how did your training kick in, and what was that like for you?
Yeah, it was kind of just an overwhelming scene. And thankfully I'm just able to depend on these guys are great senior firemen to have and look up to, and I can trust them with my life and they can trust me with theirs. And so, yeah, we just kind of kicked it into gear. Jasnock got on the radio and started ordering resources as the first guy on scene. And I looked at him and I was like, should I get him out? And he's like, I would. And so just went down to the car and couldn't see the driver. Could tell the passenger was not viable, and I just opened the back door and there was a girl there. She kind of fell into my arms and brought her up the hill, and with the aid of a law enforcement officer, and just got her out of the dangerous zone. So
You just sort of gave me a chill, but I'm hearing you describe what you did, and obviously you won an award for this. But even hearing your team describe this, Chief Culberson, what does it mean to you? How proud are you of the way that they handled this?
Extremely proud. Men and women of the Rapid City Fire Department, these three pretty much epitomize who we are and what we do and why we do it. Our community has to be proud of what we do. They pretty much showed it that day that we'll do what we need to do to save a life. And they did that day. What's amazing about the whole thing is they were on the medic unit. So they weren't on their fire apparatus that day. So they were on the ambulance. They didn't have their personal protective equipment. And they selflessly went to there, able to extricate that young lady. And she's doing well today, rehabbing and actually doing extremely well.
So we talk about Valor, and I know that when you get into a line of work like this, you don't do it for the money or the recognition. But what does it mean when you're standing here today to receive this award and realize that what you did really did go above and beyond?
Well, me to answer that for these guys, Valor means doing exactly what they did. They took it upon themselves to put their lives in danger to save another. Doing something so selfless and without thinking that it saves a life. I think it's phenomenal. It is surreal because you don't do this for the money. You don't do it for the fame or recognition, but when you're recognized by your peers, it very heartwarming and it feels good. And I think these three probably will carry this for the rest of their lives. I know I will. I'll remember this for forever.
Yeah, what will you carry from this as you're standing here speaking about it, sharing your story with us? It's going to stay with you, I would imagine.
Yeah, this is a once in a lifetime experience, and it's very humbling to be here and be represented by these guys in my department, and just, yeah.
What about you? What will you take from this experience, and how maybe has it inspired you?
Just lessons learned on the fire ground. You know, I can always be better at my job, and taking away from that experience kind of what I did, and knowing that I could trust these guys has been phenomenal, and knowing that our overhead has our back the whole way is pretty special. So I think knowing that they're behind us as we do our job.
So how big was trust and teamwork for you, and what will you take from this, Kyle?
Trust and teamwork is huge, and as part of the FTO process, you have to start to develop a trust in order to, lead the next, ALS provider. And what Jasnak did is exactly everything you want out of the FTO process and more. For him to take that initiative and leadership, without being told, and be able to maintain a level of calmness and presence about the situation. I mean, that's all that you could hope for in the end, and that we're all on the same crew together, so we already have that trust within each other. We work really well as a team, and all the way down to Morgan. There wasn't a doubt in my mind that Morgan's not going to put herself in there to, risk her life to save another life. So, I mean, all that trust is developed through time, but it's all unspoken, and I think we all trust each other through teamwork. So
I really appreciate you guys sharing your story with us. It really does demonstrate the dedication and the selflessness of what you do, and I know your community has to be really proud of you. So thank you guys for sharing your story today.
All right, and then if I could get just like a shot of you guys together.